Purchase new wiper blades from O'Reilly Auto Parts today and we'll install them for free. See better and drive safer with O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh, Auto Parts.
The drive to go further and reach higher. The same thing that inspires you inspires us. At Strayer University, we're always searching for new ways to make education more affordable. That's why we offer access to up to 10 no-cost gen ed courses to help you save time and money so you can keep striving. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. No-cost gen ed provided by Strayer University affiliates Sophia Learning. Eligibility rules apply. Connect with us for details. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Spike's Car Radio, here we are on a beautiful Saturday night in Baldwin Hills. I'm with two of my best friends, Jerry Seinfeld, Paul Zuckerman. They call this team Earth, Wind, and Fire. Let me just lay out the game board for you so you understand exactly our starting point. All right, here's the game board for those of you at home who don't know what's happening. I've been in a repair storm for the last 24 hours, upwards of 6 cars breaking, just all at the same time. My mind is mush. Zuckerman, just several hours ago, was released from the OR and had an unspecified surgery he'll get into. And Jerry, he has the biggest problem of all. He doesn't know which Morgan to buy. So we feel terrible for him. And that's where we're starting tonight's Spike's Car Radio.
So just so the fans know, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes.
You're Earth?
I don't know.
I think you're Earth, I'm Wind, and you're Fire.
He's definitely Fire.
Yeah.
That's the one sure thing.
All right, so...
Where do you want to begin, gentlemen? I have no structure for this show. It'll meander.
You don't need one.
We have 2 ads to get to, and that's it.
We were talking today. Spike and I had lunch. We took a little walk, and I was saying to him what we seek in ourselves and through the car hobby is purity of purpose, purity of quintessence. In other words... Is the thing what it wants to be? This is what we, in my opinion, this is what we seek.
Yes.
Right? This is what we like. When a car is what it wants to be, succeeding at what it set out to do, not unlike an individual, that's what gives us pleasure in the car hobby. So I seek purity in all things, as you know.
Professor
My life is my
Seinfeld.
guiding light. Is this pure? Is this purely... Is it unfettered? Is it unsoiled? Is it despoiled?
Only the best cocaine for Jerry.
Call Pablo Escobar.
But this had to do with the Morgan, right? And Morgans.
Yeah, we're talking about how could a guy who has devoted his entire life to the Porsche brand be interested in Morgans, which do not possess the engineering prowess, the polish, the usability, the quality.
On the surface, it is not what you just described, but if you scratch a little deeper, perhaps it is.
In terms of?
Well, because it's not the best at anything.
Right.
But it does serve its purpose.
It is what it wants to be.
Right.
So that's what I was saying to you. That's my attraction to this brand.
But the reason we were chatting about it was because you weren't sure. Now, you have one that you've already bought.
I have a 50th anniversary Morgan Plus 8, a 2018 anniversary. They made 50 of these anniversary models, and I got one of them. They made them 3 years ago, and I managed to find one at a dealer with no miles. And it's so beautiful, and it's the ultimate Plus 8, which is their most iconic model. And I grabbed it, and I got it through into the country with a show and display exemption. Totally, I went through all the paperwork, all the nonsense, and the car is now being, they have to smogify it and whatever. It's got a BMW V8, so it's all going to work out. And it is a modern Morgan. This is a 63. So I'm diving deeper and deeper into this hole here of Morganism.
And a 63 would be a quintessential Morgan. As
Yes.
Morgan as you can get.
The
Yeah.
Morgan
Warts
as a
and
whole,
all.
though, sorry, is you came across this car a couple days ago when we were driving back from Malibu again, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm waiting for you at the airport. We were going to work on something,
Right.
and you're gone, and I'm thinking you broke down. He was at the Morgan dealer.
He stopped.
He just leaves me.
Like a crackhead.
Yeah,
he just like a crackhead.
That's
he just
right.
goes
And he
off.
goes in-
Honey, I'm
Yeah.
going for milk, and he's there at the Morgan place
Yeah.
for 3
All
days.
the Morgan guys in Los Angeles and probably in California, they all know each other. There's only 7 of them, and the head of the gang is Dennis Glavis.
Glavis.
Who's at Morgan West. You stop and see him. You walk in there. We have a Zoom call we're supposed to be getting on, but you're there.
that's right.
And you see this car?
Yeah, but can we go back to the other thing we found out today from
Yes.
Dennis, the guy that goes up and down your block?
Yeah.
Because that's a wild. Because I'm sitting there in the car and I hear you talking with
Yeah,
Dennis.
yeah.
So I'm sitting there in the '63 Super Sport, as Dennis calls it. This is the 250 GTO of the Morgan.
Right.
You're sitting on the
Says
250 GTO
Glavis of the Fish and Chips family.
Ferrari of couches.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I get in the car to see. I get out of my '79 Targa to see if I can even sit in this thing and not feel uncomfortable. Because, the thing about Porsches is they're so humanistic in their design. You fit in it. You feel good in it. Everything just fits people. It's made for people. Italian cars, they make them for beauty, and then the last thought is, how are we going to get somebody inside this thing? Well, we'll
Right.
figure that out later. So I get in this thing, and Spike is talking with Dennis Glavis on the outside. And I'm sitting in there. I'm turning the steering wheel back and forth like I'm 14 at a Pontiac dealership.
Glavis!
On Sunrise Highway.
Very Jerry
So-
Lewis. Glavis.
Now, let me tell this story right. It's a pretty
Go ahead.
good story.
It's a great story.
So,
But again, go ahead. It's my theory that all Morgan people know each other. There aren't that many of them.
so Spike keeps telling me that's not true. They've sold a lot of cars over the years, and a lot
18.
in the States.
Yep.
18. It's
So
like
Spike
the
told
leather
me, yeah, there's a
community.
guy in my neighborhood has a Morgan. Every morning I see him driving down the hill. Every day he drives this car. So Spike's kind of getting a little intrigued by the Morgan also. Because he sees this guy, and you see somebody having a good time. You think, hey, I wonder if I should do that.
And I had the +4 press car for a week, and that guy, for the first time in years, stopped at my house and said, "You're a Morgan guy?"
Really?
And I said, "Well, it's a press car." He goes, "You know Dennis Glavis?" I go,
Yeah.
"Yeah, kind of." He goes, "Well, now you know me."
Okay, no, wait. Stop there. So, now the only other experience I've ever had with Morgan is in 1985, I met an agent somewhere in my early comedy career out here in L.A., and he, for some reason, wanted me to try his Morgan. And he brings it over to my house. He leaves it with me for the weekend, a green +8. You know what a +8
Yeah.
is? So I drive the car. I hate it. I can't. I just, I'm really into Porsches by then, and I just hate the thing.
And what happened to him?
What?
And did you have further business with him, or you hated him too?
Let me tell the story.
Oh.
So I never had any dealings with him. So today, for some reason, Spike is telling, as I'm sitting in this '63 Super Sport, I'm listening to Spike talk to Dennis Glavis, and Spike says, "There's a guy in my neighborhood." And Spike, assuming, I bet you Dennis knows this guy because there's so few of these guys. Spike says, "Do you know this guy? Whatever the street is."
Don't say the street.
Yeah, whatever the street is, and he drives up and down. He's got a Morgan, and John and Dennis goes, "Oh yeah, so and so." I go, "That's the guy from 1985 that lent me his Morgan."
Despite of fucking that relationship up, he did okay.
Yeah, he's still around and still driving the same car.
Every day.
Come on.
Yes.
Every day, Zuckerman.
He's committed. He is a
It is
committed Morgan.
when you're like, I wake up in the morning and I've got work to do, and then I hear this, I hear it start, and then I see it go down the hill like right around 11 o'clock, then it comes back around 1:30, and you just want to be that guy in that car.
Right.
And that got me really, he is so happy with it. I don't know where he takes it every day, to the club or something and back. It doesn't matter. Seasons, rain, he just drives it every single day.
Yeah.
You two should meet. Just a chance meeting on his street as he's going down. You're coming up. Good to
And I would
see
say
you.
to him, do you remember 30 years ago you tried to get me into this? And I always, it finally took 30 years later, or what, 85 to 22, what is that? How many years?
That's 36 years, 37.
He's retired now, too, this guy.
He is?
Yeah, he's done.
Can we say his name? Should we not say his name?
I don't. His last name was Berman.
John Burnham.
John Burnham.
Burnham. He's
Okay.
he used to be an agent at William Morris, then ICM. So that's Paul. This is my. I am drawn to people that are. If you're whatever you're into, if you're really into it, I'm into it. It gets me into it. So these Morgan people really into it.
So the conversation we were having was about how you slot a car like this into your driving life.
Right.
When you know, wood frame and all, it's got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And it's not going to compare to the thing that you love the most.
Right.
Right?
It's a counterpoint car.
Right, that's
yeah,
right.
It's
It's a mirror.
it's fun.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I've got those cars that
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
make sense in the collection. It makes your main love more lovable, and it becomes charming for its own idiosyncrasies.
Right. That's where I'm at, and I'm having a good time.
Now,
Yeah.
Glavis had two of them.
Glavis.
He had two Super Sports, the
They're-
250 GTO of the Morgan world.
Said Glavis.
the
As
car-
he handed you the vinegar for the chips.
He did say a great line, Zuckerman, that I wish you had heard, which was, the best one goes for $1 million. But this one here is only
Did
a
he really?
fraction of
Oh.
the cost.
Yeah.
Like he's selling
He was
at the
good. Yeah,
flea
he was
market on
dropping in
Long
his
Island.
lines. You could tell this guy's been doing it for decades. He's masterful in his selling. He was doing a good job. But both of those cars are beautiful. One is
Yes.
indigo, but it's dark blue like your 300 SL.
Yeah.
And the other one is a darker
Velvet green.
Velvet green.
Which is a Rolls-Royce color, just a rich British racing green.
Which one do you prefer?
Well, the green one is not for sale.
It is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, he said both are for sale. But the blue one is the one
Yeah,
that has
I like
better
the
provenance.
dark blue one
Right,
with the black
right.
interior
The green one,
Wow.
and
they were
dark
just
blue wheels.
Wow.
yeah, it's
Why?
beautiful.
Do it.
I'm doing it.
And Zuckerman right-hand drive.
Really?
RH3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all in.
All in. You're going all the way there.
Yeah.
We could go lefty. We
Yeah.
could get the left-hand drive, Zuckerman, and join the Morgan Club.
And save a nice coin over mine.
Yeah,
Because I
save
get
a
the
little-
same thing quite a bit cheaper.
Interesting.
These are not. And we're not big numbers. No need to squirm in your seat. These are
But the best one.
these are easy numbers for a guy like you.
We're
gonna make it
He's
work.
just as good. Why didn't you go into the car business? You would have been the greatest salesman.
I would have.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I could sell. I couldn't sell anything else.
You want
But
to
I
talk
could sell
about car
cars.
selling?
What's that?
Should we talk about car selling?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
talk about collecting cars. They just had a huge auction sale of a 918 Spider.
Really?
Visac package. 5,000 original miles. Magnesium wheels. Liquid metal silver paint.
Oh, that's a good color.
Authentic onyx black leather. Front axle lift, which was 10 grand. The car sold for $1.4 million.
I was gonna guess. Was gonna guess 1, 2. Wow,
Wow.
that's pretty nice for a car that listed at.
9 or mil. It was an even 950.
Yes.
Then
Do you remember the
taxless.
story when I went to the tech meeting at the New York Auto Show? They had brought all the Porsche cognoscenti in to tell them about the new 918 Spider, and this woman talked. It was actually our friend Miss
Wittick.
Miss
Wittick.
Wittick. That was where I first met her, and she talked for an hour. And she said, "Are there any questions?" And I raised my hand. And I said, so it's $1 million to get good gas mileage?
And did they chuckle, the Germans?
No.
They went, oh.
Harumph.
5,000 miles. So that person enjoyed their 918.
Yeah,
And
I
they-
got
and they made some
4,000
money.
on mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love it.
This was the first $1 million auction plus auction sale since launching in the U.S. in June, and on the same night as the 918 Spider sale, collecting cars also sold a Rosso Corsa Ferrari 488 GTB Volcano Red, a McLaren 12C Spider, and a Willow Green Porsche GT3 RS with a Shark's Work exhaust. Head to Collecting Cars and sign up for the daily email. There's plenty more cars there if you're looking for something. With 50,000 plus users and bidders in 90 countries, you can list your car on Collecting Cars for free and sell to a global audience. That means Tasmanians. Sell your car to a Tasmanian person. Why sell your car anywhere else? No ordinary auction, no ordinary cars. Chris Harris is part of that organization, too. Maybe you can take your car out.
Yeah, I see him with his videos hawking the cars.
Yeah. They're making money, these guys.
Good for them.
Bat has
Look
some
at that
competition.
beautiful multi-layered coloration there, Paul. That is lovely.
It's like a piece of modern art. All right, boys. Table's open. What's next? What are we talking about?
You're in recovery right now from a little
I had back surgery. This is the 58 Speedster accident, which was 4 years ago in June. So a little over 4 years ago, Crescent Heights, and I had a minivan make a U-turn in front of me, and that was a minivan of a cat rescue organization. There were 10 cats in there. I really, Jerry, I thought, my God, I was screaming at the guy, and I calmed down, and I said, okay, I'm very sorry. I said, are you okay? And then he said, I'm okay, but the cats aren't. And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Cats? Cats? I said, forgive me. But I realized I almost died at the hands of idiots. I see this.
But what were wrong? What did he elaborate on what happened to the cats?
The cats were were
just alarmed.
They were alarmed at the crash. They're really not good in cars to begin with. They're not dogs, and then you have a smash into a T-bone accident. And,
right.
They weren't very good after that. But over time, my back's been very bad from that accident. And I went to a good friend of mine, an excellent surgeon, George Rapard. I'll give him a little plug. And he did a minimally invasive surgery on my spine yesterday.
And how long is the recovery, do they say?
You know, it depends on a lot of individual characteristics, but he took out some bone. Now, bone heals in 6 weeks. Yeah, he had to remove some bone. He had to remove some ligament that was compressing a nerve.
Okay, nobody really cares about anybody else's medical.
I know.
It's fascinating to you.
Yes, it is, admittedly.
Showbiz tip, nobody cares.
Okay, erase
Are you on drugs right now?
Narcotics, yes.
What kind of narcotics?
Well, I'm on Vicodin.
I see your eyes are a little sour.
Yeah, he's happy. He's like smiley.
Yeah.
Smiley face.
Release the spinnaker on the sailboat.
Yes,
there.
I'm a little droopy. If I want, I can supplement that with some muscle relaxers. I can really. Oh yeah, I can get going.
You got to be careful.
Because otherwise, the pain would be pretty intense.
I'm on a very little bit, but yeah, I'm uncomfortable at times.
Right.
But it's not that bad.
Don't you find it interesting that the back is wrapping up right at the same time that the Speedster Resto is wrapping up?
Yes, I have to have you put together
coming together.
The convergence.
Yes.
You should have had Will Hoyt do the back.
Well, he would have said, went a little worse than I thought.
I used some of those Chinese parts by mistake.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go back in.
Put the wrong fuse in. So, okay, I feel great. All things considered,
we're happy.
Fantastic.
We're so happy.
And I want to get back, and I want to drive. I want to do everything.
So what's in your car, or what's orbiting in your car consciousness these days?
Well, the 190E 2.5 16-valve Evo 2 is one of the greatest cars of all time. Talk about that whole description you just gave, that whole speech about what a car is supposed to be, what we're looking for.
Right.
That hits it.
Really?
Bam. Now, you may drive it and you may feel differently, but for me, when I'm in that car, I say, God, they nailed. They nailed the four-cylinder, small engine, sporty thing. Everything they did on that car is fantastic.
Wow. What year is it?
It's a 1990.
1990?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I remember buying a 190E for my mom. It was the first Mercedes we ever bought, and I was stunned by the quality of it. There's a lot of 190 guys out there.
Yeah.
There's something about those cars. I don't know what it was. They have an aura. They have a quality aura that's a little different.
Very different from the E30 M3. Yeah. You definitely know you're in a Benz as opposed to the BMWs, which probably do the canyon carving better, right? They're gonna feel more like a go-kart, but this is Benz quality,
right?
And it's really stunning what they did with that.
And this car is what mileage?
10,000 kilometers.
Wow! Oh my God!
Yeah, negative miles.
Yeah,
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very pleased with that, and you'll have to get in it.
Oh, I can't wait.
I think you're going to love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, we should be right on the cusp of getting the 58 Speedster back.
Right.
And then there's the long-awaited Daytona.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's navy blue now?
Yeah. Navy blue, the original black interior.
Wow.
And hopefully Bruce Canepa wakes up from his long slumber. I don't know what he's been doing.
He's on the same drugs as you are.
I think so.
With no back problem, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tremendous.
Yeah, that's
you
what's
guys,
going
well,
on.
If you have that Morgan, so tomorrow you're going to go drive that Morgan.
We're going to go over to Morgan West tomorrow.
I'm going to go.
Huh?
I'm going to go, and I'm going to watch you drive.
Yeah.
All
or
right.
maybe he'll let you go with me.
Yeah.
He should do that.
Why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know how in the old days the car salesman always had to go in the car on the test drive? Maybe they don't do that anymore.
We couldn't figure out how they get the car up against the wall.
They had the car sideways an inch from the wall.
Just packed in with
how'd you get it there?
20 other Morgans. They're all jammed in like little toys.
Glavis.
It's like a Kinney shoe store, and he's got 6 cars in there.
It really is,
of course,
a wild little spot. And then in the back, they had a guy with a sun hat.
That's what I want to get to.
Go ahead.
How much did you enjoy watching that guy turn those wrenches?
It was great.
It was fantastic.
He's a guy rebuilding the other car, the green one we were talking about, in the sun with like an open case of screws. He had the most interesting little plastic case of washers and screws all laid out perfectly. No music, just rebuilding an engine.
Outside
in the hot.
Cars packed cheek by jowl.
Yeah.
And so me, Spike, and Dennis Glavis are watching this guy take a wrench and do this for 4 minutes. Eventually I go, maybe this guy doesn't like having 3 people stare at him while he's doing his work.
but did he comment?
No, we were just
nothing.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
It was nice to look at.
But watching somebody just turn a wrench, a real wrench on a real engine was very satisfying.
It's quite a little operation he's got down there.
Yeah.
What other dealership is like that?
And been there forever.
What is the difference between the SS and the standard Morgan? What makes this the 250 GTO?
It's built at the factory as a race car.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the front hood has an intake on the passenger side, if you're looking at the passenger side, where the velocity stacks stick out a little farther to the left so the air can go in and it can suck in some cooler air, which is really cool. The more you look at it.
This car won its class in Le Mans 1962. Placed first.
Insane.
This car?
This model.
This model, right. I couldn't separate out all those stats he was throwing, if it was that car or one like it.
They made 100 of them. This guy, Lawrence Toon, who kind of worked with the factory, souping them up for racing.
Lawrence Toon.
Lawrence Toon. No relation to Tommy Toon.
Oh, good old Larry.
Yeah.
I love, in that dark color, the swoop of the back end of the car.
Yeah.
That really looked good.
It looks so much bigger in the photographs that we looked at. It's tiny. When you see it, you're like, wait, that can't be the car. That's too tiny.
The interior, Spike, as soon as I got in it, it was like getting inside a Rolex Daytona. It just felt like a little watch in there.
Yeah.
So the dials were nice.
Yeah.
And the leather was nice, the wood dash. And I just thought, this is exactly what it's supposed to be.
It's got a white hardtop.
Yeah.
With little spinner things to hold it in place.
Typical English crap.
Yeah, but it looks great. It's like it's not white, it's like ivory and it really looks great. Yeah. I took a picture of it here. I can show Zuckerman.
And it's got a beautiful tonneau cover. You could drive it with the tonneau on, very sporty.
Right.
It's super sporty, Z.
This could be would this be a Hamptons, a Long Island car, or
for sure
either one?
This is the Great Gatsby mobile.
Yeah,
this is the Seinfeld Gatsby mobile.
Wow!
Look at how beautiful that looks.
Oh, that top is perfect to fly right off on the PCH.
There's Glavin.
Oh yeah.
That's
me inside.
There's Glavin. He's got his tech shorts on. I'm a big fan of tech shorts right now.
I love everything about him. Looking at that picture.
Yeah.
He's charming. He's built for this.
He could have played the Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah. That's a good picture of me with the eyes closed.
I have 3. I know. I can adjust that. There should be another there where they're open. But how great does that look? You look good in that car. You really do look right in that car. Yeah. Right. Well, maybe it was the blue shirt that matched the car, but look at that. Come on. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it looks, like you're in a cartoon. You're going to, you look like Cruella DeVille's chiropractor.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Well, Morgan's Tigers and Bears.
See, now this seems like the time where we'd want to take a question from the audience. Can you do that?
We could stop for a second and do it. I can do another ad, though, right now, where we could take a question from the audience.
But they can't hear us unless you did it in your Instagram.
I could go Instagram Live right now, but then that's,
interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Broadcasting. Let's talk about Mack Weldon first.
I know that guy. I know the guy who started that company.
You do?
I do.
What's his name?
It's not Mack Weldon.
Well, we love Mack Weldon because we love to use their daily wear system. The daily wear system is a selection of clothes rooted in the smart design made with performance fabrics, like the tech shorts, Jerry, and built to work together, from breathable T-shirts and polos to stylish button-ups and shorts. And guess what, Zuckerman? I'm wearing their underwear tonight. What do you think of that? Does that disgust you? It's delightful. I'm making a big switch. It's my only white pair of underpants. And now I'm going all white.
No.
Do you know why, Zuckerman?
Why?
Because I have lighter colored shorts in the summer, and I'm not comfortable wearing the darkies under there, the dark colored ones.
Never look inside white underwear. Always a bad idea.
Well, anyways, what's that?
It's not for an adult.
No, not for an adult.
But with the white, I have the white shorts. You don't want to wear dark underwear under the white and gray shorts, right?
We're gray.
Just a couple. Anyways, Mack Weldon, I love you. They know we love them. I wear their sweatpants. I wear their joggers, their socks.
I like dark underwear. You know why? No news is good news.
So buy some of that Mack Weldon dark underwear, because no news is good news, says Jerry Seinfeld. If you're interested in the daily wear system, you get 20% off your first order by visiting MackWeldon.com/spike. Put it in the address bar. I've been doing this stuff. MackWeldon.com/spike. Enter promo code Spike. That's MackWeldon.com/spike. Promo code Spike. You get 20% off, man. That's pretty cool, Mack Weldon. Thank you. Those are our ads for today. You're interested in doing some questions?
How do you do that?
I can go live right now, but I can't guarantee the results of that. People come on and say ridiculous things.
But they're not in the flow of what we're talking about.
No.
So they'll just interject nonsense.
Yeah, I would have to have done a post. We don't have that much more time to fill here.
We've probably done 40 minutes, I would guess.
We've done 26.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's keep going. Well,
we could talk about. Do you want to talk about the drive we took last night?
Oh yeah, that's a good story.
Wow.
That was an incredible drive, an incredible couple days with this car.
Yeah.
Go ahead, set the table.
I have recently acquired after longing for one for many, many years, a 1967 Porsche 910 race car.
Wow.
One of 28 built, original. Everything, body, original engine from a 67 race car that Vic Elford won the Nürburgring 1000 in 67.
Holy Grail car.
Yeah.
Holy Grail car.
And you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lovely patina. It looks like it's
beautiful.
It's 67.
It's a gorgeous.
Yeah.
67. It's like a spaceship.
Yeah.
Spacecraft.
Yeah, it's got a flat 6 2-liter 911 engine, tuned. But it's, it's just a 911 in this little fiberglass body. You're sitting right on the ground. And the amazing Porsche thing is when you're in it, you're comfortable. Mm-hmm. It starts. It's easy to drive. And we were having a cigar last night, and we were staring at the car, and we were just feeling good. We just wrote this thing for Netflix that came out great that I can't talk about right now. But you'll see it coming out. It has to do with Lego, I'll tell you that. And we thought, what would be a good way to finish the night is let's go for a ride in the 910 at night.
Yeah.
So we get in, and, you have to push a fuel enrichment lever and not step on the gas and turn the key with your other hand, and bang, the thing fires up. And
passenger seat was not attached.
Passenger seat was not attached to the floor, but there was a seat.
And the airport is beautiful. It's cool. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's lit up. There were a couple planes, twin props doing touch and goes, coming down and going back up.
And the weird thing about this car, even though it was a full-on, absolutely top-of-the-world race car in 1967, the center section of the fiberglass roof comes out. Mm-hmm. So it's like a Targa. Right. So we're looking at the sky as we're driving in this race car, watching planes above us, and it was romantic.
Do you remember?
And then you reached over.
Do you remember what happened after turn one? The thing is loud, Like my right eardrum is vibrating hard and aching. You know when it vibrates and then it hurts?
Yeah.
And you can feel the heat of the engine. And we go around turn one at the end of the runway. You can only go 20 miles an hour. And the car was so loud, suddenly like 20 rabbits just run right in front of your car. Do you remember that? And your POV is like you're down as low as you can be, like go-kart low, right?
Right.
With these yellow lights, bright yellow old lights.
Right.
So it feels like you were in that POV YouTube video from the late 60s in the race. Except you're at the airport and there's no race happening. It was really an incredible lap. We just did a couple laps, and a plane flew over us, and I'm like, this is a wild experience.
Yeah, it was really intense.
What a car.
Yeah, it's really something. I mean, the idea of this car for me is I have a few race cars, but I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a race car that you could jump in and blast down the street in?
Yeah.
You know, a Formula factory race car. And this is one that you could do it in. You can't do it in anything later than this, the 908. So those cars you can't put on the street. But this you can get a license plate on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. The goal is to get it to Bill's. He wants to get it up to Bill's.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Which I will.
He could do it.
Definitely will.
When he took off in his first drive, he went by himself. He was a little tentative. And when he came back, he just rolled in, backed the thing right into the hangar.
Really?
Like it was a 911. Yeah. It was that easy.
So the cam setup is not so difficult with first gear?
No. Slip it a little bit, but once you're going, it's it's a regular dog leg, early 911 gearbox, and off you go.
What was that?
I think something fell from the tree.
Oh, all right.
Wow, that's fantastic. What I loved about seeing that car is that you can see the evidence of the builders all over that car. The way they put the fiberglass together, you're looking at what their hands left behind, all of their marks.
Yeah. And the whole car has got that patina. It's pretty cool.
And then it has an interesting aesthetic issue that you're trying to decide. This is something many people don't get a chance to figure out.
Right.
This is a problem I had never heard of.
It has a widened rear section to take a wider tire, I guess, as it raced later in its career. And now it has smaller wheels, so that it looks a little ungainly. So I have to decide to either make a narrow rear section or put bigger tires on it. But where is the rear section guy? Where does he live? Santa Clara.
So he's just a guy that makes the rear sections.
He's got all the molds for all these cars, and he makes all these parts for all the people that are restoring these old plastic Porsches.
Now, that is a guy I would worry about getting old.
Yeah.
Who else is doing that?
Everyone's getting old, Spike.
I know, but once he goes...
Everyone's going, Spike.
Who's making
it's all going. The only thing that's not going is these cars, and the next people will get them, and they'll figure out the problems. Now, you might be familiar. I would guess you're familiar with the Matsuda collection in Japan,
of course,
from the 70s and 80s.
Of course.
This was the first real nut, right, that went crazy. And I got his book in the early 80s, so I was just I had my Saab Turbo, and I got this book about the Matsuda collection in Japan, and he tells the story of how these cars, you get addicted to them, and he says, and then the next thing you know, you have 60.
And it seems so crazy, I'm sure.
I'm reading this going, this guy's out of his mind. What do you mean 60? Who has 60 cars? It's psychotic. And here I am.
Matsuda Fells.
So I really love having one of his cars. This was his.
Really?
Yeah, this was in his collection. It's in that book that I have.
It seemed so crazy at the time that he was doing this. It seemed like he had way too much money.
Right.
And why is he trying? What is he trying to accomplish?
Yeah. Why would you need more than one car?
And now we know.
Now we know. Different flavors, different experiences. People always say to me, how do you decide which car to drive? I go, how do you decide what to wear? You go in the closet, you got 10 pairs of shoes there, right? How are you going to pick what you're going to wear? Depends on what you're doing, how you want to feel that day. Mm-hmm. It's not that hard.
That's the answer.
It is kind of hard. I always think it's hard. It is hard today, on a day like today, when all the cars seem to be braking as you get into them.
And you heard what happened with the 82, right? In the fog lights?
Oh, God. Everything's broken.
No.
No, the fog.
he had the brights on. When you have the brights on.
Well, that's a little unfair.
Say it in a scolding fashion. I like that.
5 cars go wrong. And 2 of them moments earlier. I was going to take his GT2 RS. It doesn't start. Somebody left the keys in the ignition. Zuckerman. It wasn't me.
I know who it was.
I get the 83. I get from your hangar to my hangar to meet him. It just dies. Fuel pump goes or something else. So then when I get in the 82, we take the top off, which we had trouble taking the top off.
Yeah.
I see that the fog lights aren't working. I see the reflection of a tanker in front of me, and I just assume they're busted too, because that was 4, 5, and 6 in the last couple days. Zagato has an issue. The Tesla steering wheel is not right. The horn's broken. When you have these storms of repairs, they're rare, but they're like every 3 or 4 years you just get hit with a storm of them, and they're all over the place.
It's the cycle of the emotional, cyclical emotional experience of owning old cars, any car. When you want your cars to be on point, you're always going to be having issues. If you want everything to work, then it's nonstop work.
Yep.
But that's part of and then things will break. You got to fix them. You will crash.
Well, people
will crash into you.
We called Marco Girassi from TLG. And he was very patient with me, and he went through and he said, did you check the high beams, because the fogs won't work with the high beams? And I went, oh my God, that is the one. I had checked all the relays, I checked all the fuses. I was digging too deep when the solution was simple.
Right.
And then I got him on the phone about the 83, and Jerry and I get back to the hangar, play with the relays. That doesn't fix it. We find that the fuel pump fuse is blown. Replace the fuse, it still doesn't work. Marco told me after I called him, he said that relay sometimes gets really hot and it melts. The female piece. So
the female piece.
Yeah.
His little hand gesture. Creepy Ferriston over
All right,
there.
there you go. You wanted some questions. I've got some. You can take them or leave them. First.
Just before you take that question, you were talking about the cyclical emotional nature of owning old cars.
Yes.
My 68, what's the green, Paul? My soft window Targa?
It's
Golden Green.
Yeah.
My 68 Golden Green soft window 912 Targa, restored by John Wilhoit beautifully. Took 2 years. First drive, 5 minutes in. I had a little trouble getting it in the first. Dodge Ram pickup truck behind me, bang, right into the back of it.
Unbelievable.
5 minutes at the wheel after hundreds of thousands of dollars of work.
Didn't it ruin your day?
Oh, I was a wreck. My wife said
wrecked.
she'd never seen me like that.
Right.
Totally crashed.
Yeah.
Got over it,
but
fixing it, and I'll be back in it, and I will enjoy it just as much.
24 hours? Mine are 24 hours.
I still see that black grill of that Dodge Ram in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
And I get out. You're in that crazy state, that scary, where you could do something really bad. Yeah. And I go to the guy, what the F? What happened? What did you do? Why'd you do that? He says, I didn't see you. Where do you look when you drive? I'm right in front of you.
You had your cloaking device on.
Right in front of you.
Where do you look when you're driving?
Unbelievable.
Out front.
Where do you look? What's the deal with your eyes? And you're kind of like me in those situations where I don't even want to deal with a person anymore. I just leave.
I just left.
What are
you going to say?
But I thought, what's the point in me taking information from him? I don't want anything from him.
Yes, right. Is that okay, Zuckerman? You leave the accident?
If you get hit? Situation.
Yeah, isn't that leaving the scene of an accident?
Okay, you're not at fault. I mean, in a very general theory, yes, you haven't exchanged information, but I'm sure he knows who you are, and you don't care about him. It's fine. You gave him a break. He didn't have to say anything.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, gave him a break.
Yeah.
But everything is emotional. I don't know if you saw when you pulled up my M5 in the garage.
Yeah.
One of the kidney grills fell out on the front.
See?
I looked at that, and it brought me down so hard to see that. Just like, fuck, what else is going to happen? And it's like having a black eye on your car.
I am telling you, we got to watch out, Zuckerman. Jerry saw me bounce when Marco fixed the lights, and I bounced from my bottom, but I haven't come up that far. I feel like I'm broken. And I just remember I was telling you yesterday, we were smoking a cigar, that when lights go out in particular in my house and in cars, I can't continue on with my life until this light is fixed. So the lights were making me nuts.
Well, this is what happens. Maybe Paul understands something of this psychosis or this psychotic nature of the mind. You know that the homeless people, or hoarders, they feel that becomes their body, right?
Yes,
they think they are
part
that
of them.
stuff. So that grill on your BMW, you think that's you?
100%.
Why?
Because I've attached such importance to it. It's like the dog dying, where we all of that transference of emotion. Right, but I have so much invested. The car makes me happy. I need to take care of it. We have a relationship. It's really,
but it's inanimate.
Maybe you can say that about my car, but to me, it isn't.
But isn't it more about control? Isn't it more about you feel like your life is going well, and then you just get flicked in the nose?
Well, this was, of course, always our argument about the lumpy M&Ms, right? With so much in the world being so out of control, the little things, the lights or the grill, those have to be consistent.
But don't you feel like, like on a Friday afternoon, you're in your car, you're driving, you're done with the week, life is pretty good, you got a paycheck in your pocket, you're just happy, right? And then something goes wrong there. It's hard to separate yourself from... Because that always feels like, to me, just a whack from whoever's in charge. Like, hey, your life ain't that good.
I have a friend that says it's a little pinch. You always you need a little pinch of reality,
right,
from time to time. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
that was who said that to me was Nacho Figueres when that when the lady in the white BMW smashed into my 73 RSR.
Yes.
2,500 original mile, 73 RSR, 2.8 liter.
That was and you geniusly took her down in the New York Post.
Yes,
it was one of the best pieces of writing I've ever seen. You took down an old lady in the New York Post and got away with it.
This woman was an idiot.
Gave her a beating.
God.
Yeah,
and Nacho rode up on his horse and dispensed wisdom to you.
Shirtless.
He was actually the top half Nacho and bottom half was a horse.
Yeah, it was a motorcycle. He was Motor.
He was Motor.
From the Progressive ad.
All right, now the questions are rolling in here. You wanted them. Here they are.
All right.
As a Porsche VIP, is there an expectation to purchase every new special model? Jerry, question for you.
Not that I've heard. They do ask, wondering if you want us to reserve you one of these. I'll get a text. I say, not at this time, thank you.
And that's how you handle it?
Yeah. What do you want from me? What are you supposed to say?
But then later you might decide you want one.
Yeah.
And then there you go.
Jesse Goldstein says, what do you think about the Seinfeld Lego set? Did Jerry have any say in what was included?
I did not. I was enormously flattered and honored. It's one of the greatest honors of my life to have our set be a Lego. And that is, I mentioned earlier that I'm working on something, and that is the jumping off point. That they made that Lego set, I got an idea off of that, and Netflix liked it, and we're making something very wild and interesting.
Tell us. No one listens to this.
Don't
people listen to this.
Lots of people in Nepal listening to
it. I am. What's it called? Collabing. I'm collabing.
It's a collabo.
It's a collabo with Lego. Seinfeld and Lego are going to do something. Can't say exactly what, but you will see it on within a month.
Marcus Traber is asking, if Barry Benson wasn't bred for being a pollen jock, why was he able to keep up in flight with them?
They throttled back so as not to lose him. Because they're nice guys.
Will there be a B movie too, Jerry Seinfeld? I got Renee Zellweger. She's already on board, and you've got me. But Jerry?
I think that's one of those things like the Seinfeld reunion show that people like to ask for, but if they were actually got it, they'd be very upset.
I disagree.
All right, then let's do it.
Talking about some real money.
What's the next Plan Z car? GT3 Touring.
Yep.
Oh, yeah? Tell us about that.
Coming in March.
Spike spec'd it out.
You had no input.
I didn't want input because
Why?
I know.
Well, hold on, Jerry. You had more input, I think, than anybody. You said it's got to be this color, so we went, okay.
You got the Dolomite.
Dolomite silver.
Yeah, it's going to be stunning.
Zuckerman said he's got to have 18-way seats.
Yeah,
I said, okay.
Great.
That was my only input.
I said it's got to have a PDK because I want to drive it like a 911 so I don't lose interest. Okay. There's a stripe on it.
You know what? My feeling is this. I don't necessarily want the PDK, but I'm willing to let that happen because we know there will be however many more GT3s we're going to want.
And cars and other things.
I've learned this lesson. They get me all hyped up for the first one.
Yeah.
I go in big. I go in deep. And then 6 months later, something better's out. They screwed me.
By the way, this is a good question for both of you guys because I was thinking about it tonight. When, I think that car gets delivered in March.
Jesus.
When can you? Well, it's a touring. The GT3s are coming in first. But when's the last minute to change all of it? If we wanted to change any of it,
that's long past.
It is
long past.
It's already in the queue.
Oh yeah. Forget
Why?
It. Because the Germans don't like changing their work in the middle of it.
But they're not going to build it till when? January, February.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It'll ruin their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, 1 second. Have you seen the spy? Have you seen the mules of the GT3 RS?
Yes.
Have you seen the wing?
Yeah.
Can you drive a car with a wing of that size?
Absolutely.
In L.A., yeah.
I cannot.
You can't?
Oh, you will.
It's really crazy. It's really crazy now.
Yeah.
You can drive anything in this town.
Yeah, that's true.
It can be as ridiculous as it can be,
That's
and you're
true.
fine. Anywhere else in the world, no.
Right.
It is ridiculously big, but I think that's what's fun about it.
Really?
Yeah. It's really going to be nice. That car's going to perform really well.
Wow.
Is it any crazier than any of these wings? They always seem to be big. If you keep going back to these GT3s, they got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Why do women react so violently
I can tell
to
you,
wings on
because
cars?
they don't know. Whenever you ask them why, in the middle of their criticism, you say it has function, and they go, "Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you just put that on there so it looked cool."
It's a criticism of the male psyche.
Yes.
Yes.
It is the 8-ball jacket. It is a badge. They think it's a bad man choice.
It's like a man spread. You got to take up more room.
Yes.
Your car's got to go up.
Exactly.
Going
they
down.
think you're peacocking. That you're
right.
Yeah.
Well, you are. Nobody really needs a wing of that size to drive to 7-Eleven.
I do.
That guy does too.
Someone
Somebody
needs a
just
wing
went
to
by.
go down La Brea.
Who gets more annoyed by stupid people, Zuckerman, Seinfeld, or Spike? I would say
That's a
definitely.
great question.
It is a good question.
I'm going to rank it Zuckerman 1, Spike 2, Jerry 3.
Oh, come on.
Way. I
What?
was going to say you won.
One,
Me
Seinfeld
two,
1, and Zuckerman 2, and me 3.
Yeah.
How do you say it again?
What? Zuckerman.
Zuckerman
2.
Two.
You're 1.
I am?
You're
Yeah.
1.
I take that as a great compliment.
Yes. You do not suffer fools, Jerry.
Jerry-
I think you were worse, way more intolerant than me.
I'm just more vocal about it. You know how to keep your mouth shut.
All one would need
You have such polish. You're very polished. You
Okay,
have
so
great
I have
grace.
better manners, but I'm boiling underneath.
You definitely
Yes.
have better manners, but your whole stand-up. Go listen to your stand-up.
Yeah.
What is happening? It's all you're yelling.
Why is everyone so stupid? He's
Why
built a
are they
career
doing-
on other people being stupid.
But your manners, look at this. Your manners are impeccable. So
Thank
no
you.
one even knows. If I asked Erica that question, she'd go, "Well, definitely not Jerry."
Really?
She'd go you and Zuckerman, and you're tied, but probably give it to Zuckerman, but not Jerry. You should be more like him. He's so nice and he's so polite.
Wow, boy, I got her fooled. Come here, Cujo. Coco. Koji. Is that like the berry? Is that a Koji berry?
No, that's it. See, now you're getting my drug-addled brain confused. It's a goji berry.
Goji berry, yeah.
Goji berries.
All right, there's various 2- and 3-car garage questions.
So we
that
each
we've
ranked
heard
it
before.
differently? That's pretty.
No, he and I ranked it
we're
the
in
same.
agreement.
Oh, you ranked it the
Yeah,
same.
yeah.
He's 1?
He's always 3.
Oh, he's 3.
He's 3.
But I'm a close 3. I mean, we're all grouped up the top pretty close.
We're at the top of the curve, bumping into each other.
I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't upset me.
It's a cluster.
It's a cluster, for sure.
Throw a hat over him.
All right. I think that's all we got, guys. Well, I'm just reading any more questions. How about Jerry? We'll just go out on this one. Out of all your cars, if you had to just settle 3, to just have 3 cars in a garage, what would those 3 cars be?
It's not that hard.
Okay.
993 RS Euro 3.8.
Wow.
GT Speedster.
Wow.
And 918.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's great.
That's my 3. I'll roll with those the rest of my life and be fine.
Okay, and is that just a today comment or that's a forever comment? That's
Ask me tomorrow.
okay. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, but that's off the top of my head today. That covers everything for me. 911, supercar, 356.
Wow. The 918 market just went up.
How about you? 3 cars.
300 SL,
Right.
Wow.
58 Speedster, and 73 RS.
That's good.
That's really good.
Yeah. Wow, 300 SL. You don't drive it that much.
But when you do,
Really?
when you do,
I've never driven it.
it's a brilliant piece of machinery. It's just so brilliant. It's not the easiest drive. It's a little heavy on the front end at low speeds, but what they managed to accomplish, it truly is the first post-war supercar, in my opinion, with that direct fuel injection, with its handling characteristics. It is such a fantastic. It's a special. It's kind of like the tux in your closet, right? You know, it's a special occasion piece.
And this car followed the Gullwing.
Yes, which I don't have a Gullwing anymore, so.
But it's better than the Gullwing.
That's a really hard.
I think so.
It's better. It's more usable. It irons out a couple of problems, but the pure engineering and styling exercise is the Gullwing.
Yeah,
the Gullwing is really the pure form, and then there's the accommodations the 300 SL Roadster make. So you have a door, you have a window,
right?
But they have a better cam in the Roadster, and they have a sway bar in the back, and so the Gullwing has a split rear axle that can be kind of terrifying when you're going around a corner, and the Roadster cures that.
I see.
Yeah, but it is such a special car when you drive it. They really did something amazing.
I like this question. This is a good one. If each of you had to buy a Ferrari right now, new or classic, which would it be?
Wait, before that, which is a great question, your top 3.
I would do a 356 of some kind. I guess a Speedster, but I might go with the Zagato. But the Speedster would drive better. Mm-hmm. I would be in zones. I would be in a mid-70s, like 73 RS, and then I would go with the latest
GT2 RS.
No, if there was one, but not the new one. I mean, I don't know what's about to come out. But if there were a special new 992, I'm in love with 992s.
Right.
You know, and you taught me this. The latest, greatest Porsche, they get better every year. It would be some new thing that they've put out. Right now, it would be a GT3 RS with a giant wing.
Right.
That's what I would do. And that way I'd have a little of each thing.
That's a smart approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, those Ferraris, I really love that SF90.
Wow.
I got to say, that car.
Really?
I like the look of it. I like the whole thing of it. It looks like a cool car. I don't know Ferraris that well.
I've driven it. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's really, you would like it. It's more refined. It's not as noisy as past Ferraris. You get in it, and it feels like a gentleman, and it's just blindingly fast.
Right.
It's a really nice thing.
Is it a new Ferrari
It can
or
be
any
anything.
Ferrari?
Any Ferrari.
Pick anyone.
288 GTO.
Really?
Which one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
288
It's a
GTO.
great car, but it's not that usable. None of them are, I guess.
Right. That's the one.
Have you ever driven one?
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
There you go. See?
I mean, it's, you know what's amazing about it? The build quality. The build quality is incredible. Totally different from, 328s and all that stuff.
Right.
It's great. I drove one for Comedians in Cars. I forget who I had in it. I think it was Tracy Morgan, but it was pretty cool.
Where did you source the car? Who lent you a GTO?
Steve Sirio hooked me up.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
New England car dealer Steve Sirio.
One of his friends.
That's
was gracious
amazing.
enough.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you? I know.
Well,
Dino.
there are three. Not necessarily. I mean,
three?
if it's just I can have anything. It's a 250
Wow.
Yeah.
GT, short wheelbase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm changing.
The
I'm changing.
250 Lusso. I've always wanted to beat up Lusso to just bang around LA.
Smart. Love that.
And I've had the Dino. And I would get back into a Dino. I was telling you about my issue with the seats, right? I had that perfect unrestored Dino with 6,000 miles on it, but the seat powder was coming out of the bottom of it. And I didn't know enough back then. I mean, I drove it for 12 years, but I didn't know enough back then to just get the seats redone.
Yeah.
I couldn't wrap my head around
God.
perfect preservation in doing that, so I just got rid of the whole car.
Oh, that's.
But I would want
terrible.
a perfectly restored Dino. But that wouldn't be the 250 short wheelbase. That's the dream for me, that car. I think I would really enjoy having
What about
that.
a California Spider?
No, they don't really do it for me. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
It's that look, that 250 short wheelbase, and even the Lusso. That's a car I can see myself getting bagels in.
Right.
That Lusso interior, the way they set up the gauges on the dash, it's intoxicating.
I drove Ralph Lauren's 250 short wheelbase.
And?
I got out. He said, "What do you think?" I go, "It's an Italian Camaro."
And he just ruined his day. That was just the end of it.
But he has a good sense of humor.
Well, there it is, gentlemen. We've had some fun. We've had some laughs. Zuckerman, we're happy you're alive.
I was kind of disappointed.
We're not. The world is not.
Why did I wake up? Oh, God,
We
awake.
all love you. We're happy you're feeling better. Jerry, I hope you get through this difficult time with the Morgan.
Thank you.
And you decide, make the right decision.
Oh, God, help me.
Buy is the decision.
And
Really? Okay.
next week, big news. And I saved it for the end, Zuckerman. Our new sponsor. Coming back.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew is
We
back.
got him back.
I just heard. So
Yes.
I don't know what that means yet, but Blue Chew is back.
Finally.
The erectile dysfunction drug company that left us because of Zuckerman's. Never mind. And I don't know what they have planned. I just heard right before we came. So exciting news. Anyway, we'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.